What's up, guys? Welcome to the Discussing Network YouTube page. And today we're going to be talking about Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, as in Miles Morales Spider-Man originally from the Ultimate Universe.
So you won't know what first got me into Miles Morales. And I can't even say that I'm into him really, but Black Spider-Man. That's really
okay. All right. So interesting that, well, you're a Spider-Man fan to start with, right?
I'm a Peter Parker fan mostly, yes.
So curious, if you're a Peter Parker fan and you see this regardless of, background, regardless of what he looks like, what made you think, okay, this is a cool character if you're a fan of Peter Parker?
I mean, we see where a lot of the characters have kind of dived into different people.
Okay.
I think of, what's the Iron Man, the female Iron?
Riri Williams with Ironheart.
And also, even you look back to characters like Falcon taking over Captain America and things like that. So the character can migrate to somebody else.
Okay.
But what makes me perk up when I see the new Miles Morales is just a Black Spider-Man, just to be totally honest.
Okay, cool. So curious that you said that. And I asked that question for a reason, because the concept of Miles Morales in the Ultimate Universe, which was a updating of the Marvel comics. It was a separate imprint. So it's basically giving creators the ability to update Marvel without changing the 616 or the core Marvel continuity.
Uh-huh.
So they decided to kill off Peter Parker.
Yes, I remember this.
Okay. So when they did that, Ultimate Fallout #4, you saw a Spider-Man remove his mask, and he was not white. He was a kid who was, I think he's half Puerto Rican and half black.
Interesting.
So he has a dual heritage, and he's taking over the Peter Parker role.
So obviously some fans are going to be mad to have this new character come in and take over the mantle, maybe even temporarily. What was the reaction when he first was debuted?
Just as when we've been talking on our podcast, Doctor Who, with the woman taking over from a man. You're always going to have some pushback, but Stan Lee approved.
Okay.
So need we say any more?
Yes. So as far as abilities, what differs Miles Morales from Peter Parker?
So in the story, Miles is actually bitten by a spider that was in the same experiment and that irradiated the spider that Peter was bitten by.
Okay.
And he has pretty much all of Spider-Man's powers. He, can be super strong, the agility, all of that. He does have a spider sense, but it is not quite as strong.
Okay.
But he can render himself invisible.
Interesting.
And he can also, if he touches someone, he can basically shock their nervous system.
Okay. Now, the invisibility doesn't really jump out at me as being a native spider thing.
More like blending in, more like camouflage kind of thing.
Yep.
I think that's more of it. It can kind of blend in, not necessarily invisible, but more of a blend in kind of thing.
Now, you did mention him being in the Ultimate Universe.
Yes.
Is he still in the Ultimate Universe?
He is not. And when Marvel announced that they were getting rid of or canceling the Ultimate imprint, my first thought was, oh crap, what's going to happen to Miles? Because I really liked him as a character. And within that story, there comes a point to where he does something nice for a character that's traditionally known as a supervillain.
Okay.
And called the Molecule Man. And Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, basically, they don't pretty much say it, but you know that he's saying, I'm saving you.
Okay.
So the next thing he knows, Miles is now in the 616 and has always been in the main Marvel. And the Molecule Man is very powerful.
Good old Rick Conning.
Yes, good old Rick Conning. One thing I do want to mention on the origin of Miles, he was the visual of Miles was taken from a young Barack Obama.
Interesting. Did not know that.
paired with, and you'll find this one interesting, there is an episode of Community where Danny Glover wears a Spider-Man outfit.
Uh-huh.
Those two things paired together is what the urban legend says is what gave them the idea for Miles.
He definitely has Donald Glover hair.
Yes, he does.
Has the big...
Yes, he does.
Cool. So where do you see them going with Miles Morales as we talk about this movie Into the Spider-Verse?
Well, Into the Spider-Verse is a comic storyline that has all these different universes, Spider-Man coming together.
Uh-huh.
I see him similar to the way he is now in the 616. He is a kind of a apprentice to Peter Parker.
Gotcha.
Because this Peter Parker, of course, is not dead and he's an adult. So he's kind of taken Miles under his wing, which is really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man.
And Miles actually, in the last couple of years, has been so prominent in the 616 that he was an Avenger.
Cool.
Very cool.
So, this, to get away from maybe the Sony movie Into the Spider-Verse and maybe into the MCU stuff.
Okay.
Do you think there's a chance we will see Miles, maybe not even in the MCU, but a proper, full-length live-action movie? I
would love that. I think anything is possible. I think 5 years ago, if we were sitting here, we would have thought there's no way that the Fox properties would ever come back to Marvel.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Or even regular Peter Parker Spider-Man in the MCU. So, yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait either. But you know what else we can't wait for is for you to go and hit that subscribe button below and make sure you get all of our latest videos and like and share and make sure you subscribe.